Grant Chum, UBS gaming analyst and head of Hong Kong equity research. Grant, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me.
Let's start with MGM China, because when you look at the headline, the profit doubled, but it was less than what analysts expected. So what's your take on the results for MGM China?
I think overall, as the smallest operator in Macau, they did actually very well in 2011. And you've got to remember they held on to about 10% market share in the second half, despite the opening of a very big property by their rival, Galaxy. And therefore, I think overall the operating results were good, but there were some special items below the operating level which led to a miss on the net profit.
Let's talk about the outlook for Macau and the number of visitors heading there. Are you seeing the arrivals holding up, especially the number of Chinese tourists going to Macau in the most recent period over the Lunar New Year?
We saw throughout 2011 a steady acceleration in the rate of growth of mainland Chinese visitations. In fact, in the first quarter in 2011, the visitation growth was only about 10%, but by the year end, we were up to 30% year-on-year growth. And partly that's driven by the new property opening by Galaxy, but partly because I think there's just very significant consumption power from the middle class coming through Hong Kong and China. And Macau rather. But I think in the Lunar Year, I think that visitations were up moderately, but I think overall this year we still expect low teens to mid-teens visitation growth.
Now, of course, when these visitors come to Macau, they want to see new attractions, they want to stay in new hotels, eat in new restaurants, and gamble on new floors. And this is one area where MGM wants to expand with its Cotai Casino, but it's not going to happen for, what, 4 years, perhaps?
Right. Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 years.
How critical is expanding on the Cotai Strip for MGM?
Well, expanding capacity is absolutely critical because the market is, in reality, supply constrained, and demand is so overwhelming, particularly on the mass market side, and the surge in demand for hotel rooms. Really, I think the operators would love to build more hotel rooms tomorrow if they could. However, government policy is very restrictive on expansion, and therefore the operators who, through historical reasons, have been able to build much larger projects are at a significant advantage, and unfortunately MGM is at the other end of the spectrum.
So are the days of the Venetian-style projects with thousands of hotel rooms and getting them done relatively quickly, are those days over in Macau?
In large part. We have one very large project coming up from Sands China, which is called Sands Cotai Central, which will actually be offering double the number of hotel rooms as the Venetian. But that I see as really a legacy project from the go-go years of supply growth. And therefore, going forward, A, the timeline will be significantly deferred from what the operators would otherwise wish, and secondly, probably the scale would not be matching that of either Venetian or the Sands Cotai Central project, which is about to open in April.
And with the time we have left here, as you look across the spectrum from MGM China to Sands China to Wynn, which one seems to be best positioned in terms of what they're doing in Macau right now?
Well, structurally, it comes back to who has the largest share of the asset base, the physical assets, from tables, from real estate, from retail space to hotel rooms. And of course, through their own strategy, but also through various decisions by their rivals, Sands China is obviously in the best position, since it has probably will have more than 50% of the casino hotel rooms once it opens this new project, and that means effectively it has more hotel rooms than the other 5 operators put together.
Amazing. We will have to go there and check it out. Grant, that's all we have time for today, but thanks for coming in and spending some time with us. Grant Chum, UBS gaming analyst.